compro dog, 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 dog. Só compro dog porque é pura emoção. Cachorro dog, 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 dog. Com toda mura, tô de lemo do tubarão. Dog que estou na beira, sem baleia, sem pretensão. Nada igual um unicórnio no Bitcoin. Pega a visão. Geral ainda nem sabe, imagina quando se estourar. Tô enchendo as malas, tô comprando tudo. Antes que o Elon Musk irá postar. Dog, 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 dog. Com tudo mundo. Dog, 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 dog. Com tudo mundo. Comunidade irada, galera animada, é pura diversão. Todo mundo já sabe que a base é rara, a gente que espalha energia nesse mundão. Dog, 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 dog. Com tudo mundo. Dog, 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 dog. Com tudo mundo. Eu compro dog, 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 dog. Só compro dog porque é pura emoção. Cachorro dog, 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 dog. Com tudo mundo, eu tô de lemo do tubarão. Eu compro dog, 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 dog. Só compro dog porque é pura emoção. Cachorro dog, 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 dog. Com tudo amor, eu tô de lemo do tubarão.
Fala, rapaziada, vamos começando aqui mais um Sextou, rapaziada, hoje com uma presença incrível no nosso programa, um Vincent colou aí com a gente, então vamos embora aí, ó, o Rafa já mandou 50 galão aí, Rafa, aí sim, já vamos começar daquele jeito, tamo junto, meu brother, I love you, Vincent, the legend, let's go, everybody, então, today I'm gonna talk about English, né? Para testar aquele inglês, rapaz. Hoje aquela emoção é inglês, é português, meu irmão é espanhol, é uma mistura de tudo. Então, bora que bora, beleza? E vamos que vamos, rapaziada. Mais um dia. Semana passada, a gente trouxe o Leônidas para trocar uma ideia com a gente. E today, guys, I have the biggest of the dog in the world, que é o Vincent aí, beleza? Então, hello, Vincent. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing very good, man. Thanks for having me up on the show. It's good to be with all of you. You guys are such legends, and happy to be discussing dog and everything within the macro market.
Amazing, amazing, man. Thank you for speaking today here. You are the best of the dog. Leônidas is the first, and you is the second on the world. So thank you for supporting and send the dog of the world, okay? Dog da massa, say hello to Brazil, my friend.
Hello, everyone. Prazer estar aqui de novo, mais um Sextou. Tô chegando em casa, tô aqui no carro, mais uns 5 minutinhos eu tô em casa. Daí vai melhorar um pouco aí meu áudio, mas sempre um prazer. Hoje presença ilustre aí do nosso maior influenciador de dog é o Vincent, o cara que trabalha incansavelmente, que faz vídeos diariamente sobre a dog. It's always a pleasure have you here with us, because you are the best KOL of dog. You work a lot for us. Every day you make video, and every dog army needs to support you, because you are a true legend, and that's a pleasure having you here and talking about everything about dog and the market and the Vincent behind the scenes. I want to know about you a little bit more today.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm very excited to be talking about everything that's happening in the market. But let me just take a moment to say you guys are amazing as well. You guys are legends because you guys show up every single day since Dog was born over a year ago. And what you do for people in Brazil, you're also doing for people in the United States as well. People learn from you. They hear your voice. Because you have not left, they feel more comfortable knowing Dog in the community. And I think I can attest to their voices saying, you guys are legends, you guys are awesome, and I'm happy to be on this journey with you.
Bom
Amazing.
demais.
Hello,
Good
hello
stuff.
to Brazil, Bitmax. Say hello to Brazil.
Boa noite aí, galera. Pô, sejam todos muito bem-vindos. Pô, vai ser um prazer trocar ideia com o Vincent aí, né? Por mais que o inglês não esteja lá essas coisas. Mas, pô, vai ser top demais. Sempre que a gente conversa com ele, a gente sai animado, né, cara? Porque é convicção absoluta do que tá fazendo. E, pô, perfeito. Dog da Massa, boa noite. Boa noite, JP. Boa noite, Vincent. Hello, Vincent. Nice to see you here, bro.
Yeah, BitMax. Hey, congratulations on the Dog Data website. I highlighted the website today's video, covered it. It's really nice to see that you've implemented the markets page on there as well, but allowing dog holders to easily study wallet trading and transactions and who the biggest holders are. It just allows us to understand it in a very easy way. So thank you so much for doing that.
Nice, Vincent.
Aí, hein?
It's so
Bitmax
good.
tá falando
It's so
toda.
good here. This for you, of you, and I want to know what you see, what you can see on dog data. I think about the transactions is primordial. Is something is the first step for us, and what you think about the wallet tracking and alert on dog data account on X, on X.
Yeah, absolutely. When you post on the wallet tracking, I noticed that what I've noticed, okay, so like I always like to assume that the first 10 wallets, even though it's not true, maybe it's like the first 5 wallets, but I like to assume like the first 5 to 10 wallets that hold the most dog are most likely exchanges. That's what I would like to assume. But not every single one of the top 10 are exchanges. Sometimes it's like a really big, maybe it's Merlin chain, maybe it's a big whale. So lately, for the past couple weeks, I've noticed from your data is that the whales have actually been buying very small amounts. They haven't been buying a ton. And this is actually very good because even the whales and professional traders are uncertain where the market's going. They're not sure if we're going to go down or go up. And this aligns with what I'm seeing with professional traders who are YouTube influencers who I look up to, like Benjamin Cohen, who isn't always bullish on markets. He's always about studying data and being very realistic, right? And he says that we could potentially be meeting a top of Bitcoin, meaning Bitcoin may not see higher prices if we don't see a higher price by December of 2025. And when I'm seeing big wallets like the top 10 not accumulating as much, and professional traders are not as bullish as they feel like they should be, to me, I see this as an opportunity, meaning sometimes it's good not to always have hopium, believing that things will always go up. In fact, I like being very realistic on when can markets go down. But it doesn't mean that the markets won't go back up. I think that right now, everybody is spooked. And by the way, happy Halloween, everybody. It's a day to
Halloween.
be, it's a day to be scary. It's a day to be spooked, and that's the best part about Halloween. But that to me is a reminder that, you know, what the manipulators at Wintermute and Binance have done has shaken out everybody. It's made everybody nervous, and that's really good. Like, they have accomplished getting predominant names, figures, and professional traders to have uncertainty, right? Because you see gold, you see the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ, they're reaching new all-time highs, but cryptocurrency's not.
Yes.
These markets cannot reach new all-time highs like without cryptocurrency, but cryptocurrency is being suppressed. Cryptocurrency should be with gold, should be with the stock market, but it's not happening. And that is clear sign that Wintermute is suppressing the markets and what they're trying to do. And you guys are very smart. You guys know this, but I want the audience to know this. They want to liquidate any long leverage traders, period. And in crypto, you can make a lot of money globally. Like gold is not accessible everywhere. Gold is only available to the rich people. The stock market is only available to rich people, but cryptocurrency is available to anybody around the world. And so because more people have exposure to cryptocurrency, you can see that people are getting very greedy, and they think that every single rate cut, every single bullish event that comes out of like China having a deal with America, they think that all these bullish events are happening and that we're going to continue going up. When Binance and Wintermute see this, and other market makers see this, and they're going to short the market together. It's like a big cabal. They work together to liquidate these longs, and that's why you see Bitcoin going down and altcoins getting hit harder. With that said, to answer your question, just to close it off a bit, Max, the activity within these wallets is small, and that's good. And to me, the manipulators succeeded in scaring people from buying anything. And that's why people who even have long-term convictions with Bitcoin haven't really bought that much right now, even with Bitcoin. So that's my conclusion.
Amazing, amazing, guy. O Cabelinho,
Fala.
say hello. Say hello to Brazil.
Hello to Brazil, my friends. I am Brazilian as well, but today is the English-speaking day in honor of our friend Vincent. In order to thank him for showing up, showing his beautiful face and voice. I assume his face is beautiful, but his voice sounds good. So usually that's how I see things. And since you're the only one showing your face, well, just thank him for showing up. It's always a pleasure to be here representing Maxi and the Gold Dog Army, my friends.
Yes, thank you for supporting on Maxi from Sextou da Dog. And bora que bora. Rapaziada, deixem
Bora que
perguntas
bora.
aí no chat, beleza? Para quem não tá entendendo nada. Daqui a pouco o Fred, né? Que é o nosso.
Posso falar aí,
Ô, o
JP? Vou dar
cabelo-
uma
Claro,
traduzida
fica à
aí que-
vontade, meu filho. Fica à
Que tem
Pelo
eu?
que
vontade.
eu entendi lá,
Que tem
pelo
eu,
que eu entendi
Bitch
ali
Max?
que ele falou bastante aí também do Dog Data ali, que eu não prestei muito atenção, mas ele falou muito do mercado, né? Ele falou assim que o ouro, né, basicamente ali o ouro tá nas máximas, o S&P 500 está nas máximas, e cripto não tem acompanhado isso, né? E a gente está vendo uma manipulação constante da Binance, a gente está vendo uma manipulação constante da Wintermute, que é os market makers da Binance também. E ele falou bastante também da convicção, né? Porque o pessoal, praticamente o mercado de futuros, né? E o mercado cripto, ele é um triturador um moedor de pessoas impacientes, né? Então eu acho que isso é um momento bom, né? Ele também descobriu muitas coisas em relação ao airdrop através do Dog Data. Então, assim, cara, vai ser um prazer mesmo aí conversar com o Vincent, e depois, quando o Fred chegar também, acho que a gente vai conseguir explicar melhor para os brasileiros. Mas em poucas palavras aí, resumindo bem, foi isso aí.
Foi isso aí, né?
Outra parada, ô JP, outra parada que ele falou aqui, que é porque ficou na cabeça, sobre ouro só ser acessível aos ricos, estoques só ser acessível aos ricos, e cripto tá em todo lugar, não tem barreira de entrada, né, cara? Qualquer um com um Android de 6 anos atrás consegue entrar em cripto.
Exato. Rapaziada, para quem não sabe quem é o Vincent, né? O Vincent Cara, é um dos maiores YouTubers da Dog, um dos maiores porta-vozes da nossa comunidade. Ele vem falando sobre Dog desde o começo. Cara, e para quem não segue ele, rapaziada, segue o homem aí, tá? Que o homem é brabo. Ele tem um Twitter também, né? Um dos principais Twitters na Dog. Muito forte. Então, cara, porra, eu acho que todo mundo que é da comunidade conhece ele, mas para quem não conhece, segue o brabo aí, porque, mano, o cara é monstro mesmo, tá?
Top 10 voice aí pro Bitcoin também, Vincent.
É um dos
top 10 voice.
voices, né? Yeah.
Top 10 voice, top 3 voices on Coinbase, Gemini, Bitcoin. Yes. Vincent is the legend. Posso fazer uma pergunta pro Vincent?
Fica à vontade, pro brother.
Oh, Vincent, I have a question for you, no? Because when you pivot to Dog and you start to work for Dog, because I remember you when you come to talk about Dog, and I know it's difficult to explain this conviction and why you feel this is that's your conviction about Dog, and who is Vincent before Dog? Can you explain for us how you introduce you in crypto, something like that, please?
That's a very good question, and I think this question that you just asked, Dog Damasa, is going to help other people understand. I think understanding who I am and what I do gives a little bit of transparency, because I think a lot of people, they go online and they only see what other people tweet, and they don't really get to know the person, and then they find out that person rugs and then leaves that community. So I think this is a really good question. So I'll start with my background. So I live here in Los Angeles, California, and before I got into cryptocurrency, I was in the film industry. And before I was in the film industry, I was, in Chicago, and people already know this now. I used to be a breakdancer. I used to compete in competitions. So, becoming a professional b-boy and taking my talents to Hollywood, I got into the film industry, got my education, and started producing films, funding films, and a couple of my films got into the Cannes Film Festival. One was a sci-fi film, another one was a documentary in Formula One. And so this was my background getting into the film world. And so I had taken advertising, marketing, and my job in the film industry was to catch on to what is trending and also how to market it to people to get them interested, right? So you have to understand how people think and why they want to watch your film. Because they're just like cryptocurrency, 99% of films will never make it in theaters. 99% of films will never make it to a distributor. So the same thing happens with cryptocurrency, right? And so back in 2017, I started getting into cryptocurrency and started allocating some of my investments into Bitcoin first. And so I was buying Bitcoin roughly around $3,000 to $4,000 per Bitcoin. And so I bought a ton and I just held. And so this is really important because I'll come back to this in a little bit. So after 2017, I wasn't really making any content. In fact, the only thing that I was doing was just investing and making films. But all of a sudden, in 2020, we all had the pandemic. And the pandemic not only locked us all down, the film industry in Hollywood shut down too. And so a lot of people got laid off, people were unemployed, and I couldn't travel to film festivals, so I couldn't even make films. And so eventually I had to rethink about, okay, if everybody's stuck in their house, what do I do? And so when I was going online, learning from different content creators about cryptocurrency, I asked myself, what should I do? Instead of trying to learn from people, I want to share what I'm learning. And that's when I started my YouTube channel for the very first time. I remember my first 5 subscribers on my YouTube channel was my mom, my dad, and my family, right?
Me too, my friend.
Yeah, because they love you and they want to support you, right? So they're your biggest fan. And so how do I started trying to figure out, just like you guys, we try to figure out what content generates enough views, what gets us more followers. So in 2020, the most views and followings were people talking about gaming So gaming or GameFi in the cryptocurrency world was very big in 2020 and 2021. And I made a lot of money through like the tokens on gaming. There was less regulation. And so what I was trying to inform people on was, how do you make money with GameFi? How do you buy a token before it launches, right? Before it goes public, and when to sell. And to be very honest, I wasn't like amazing. I wasn't like flawless. In fact, I think maybe 75% of my predictions did not work, right? I think only 25% of my predictions worked, but that 25% was able to make me more money than it was the 75% that I lost money. And then I got into NFTs, and then I started looking into Ethereum, Solana. And now in 2024, that's when Dog came along, right? So before I started talking about Dog, why, like you said, Dog Damaso, why do I have this conviction around Dog? In 2020 to 2024, I was focused on Solana and Ethereum. The most important thing that we need to take away from this is, why do I have long-term conviction on Dog right now? I don't talk about anything else. What I feel about Dog is how I felt about Bitcoin. There's nothing like it. And Bitcoin does not have a team. Dog does not have a team. Bitcoin does not have marketing. Neither does Dog. Most people will doubt Bitcoin as most people will doubt Dog. The only way to prove that Dog and Bitcoin will do well is one thing, and that's community. The people determine the value of that token, not a team member marketing. Because as you've noticed over the past couple years, maybe even a few years, you have noticed that a majority of cryptocurrencies that have team members and marketing budgets have actually gone down a lot, and they've actually lost their community. There was no community to begin with. It's all their prices, even today, are artificially pumped and dumped by market makers that work along centralized exchanges, right? So when you look at Dog, I see Dog like Bitcoin. But why do I have conviction that Dog will do well? I look at how I performed with Bonk when I bought $500 worth of Bonk at a $9 million market cap. And people said that Bonk was dead. And Bonk is just a free airdrop. All I had to do was hold it. It's just $500. It's not a big deal. And then I saw Bonk pump from 9 million to $2.1 billion. And then I checked my portfolio. Sorry. And then I checked my portfolio, and it had turned into like $64,000, like just within a matter of like 6 months. It was very quick. And so what was my lesson there? I realized, oh, if you just hold and have conviction, then all you have to do is just wait. And so what was my next big bag? Well, Solana had dropped from over $200 to $8. And you guys remember this. Alameda Research, Sam Bankman-Fried, FTX collapsed. Everybody said Solana is dead. And why? Because people found out that Alameda Research had a ton of Solana in their portfolio, and that most likely they're going to liquidate. And that sent the price down to $8. And so I bought that fear. And so you got to buy when people are very scared. And I will tell you, a lot of people don't publicly share with you that they're buying Solana at $8 because they're nervous that they will get judged. Like they're going to be nervous that they get the call wrong. And so I held, I bought roughly, what was it, around, I think it was around like $60,000 worth of Solana at that time. And when Solana went from $8 back over to $200, I had sold and I made over 7 figures. So now the big lesson that we take away from this is, if you truly believe in something, I believed in Solana because I actually think that Solana is going to do a lot better than Ethereum. That's just my point of view because it's so easy to understand and the technology is very fast. I think that if you take what I've learned from Solana and Bonk, I'm applying the same thing over to Dog, right? And I haven't put my whole Bitcoin portfolio into Dog. I put like I put a good amount in, but it's not my entire funds. Like the reason I want to have more Bitcoin set aside is because if Coinbase or Gemini or any other exchange decides to list Dog, or maybe is thinking about it, well, I want to make sure I have funds to deploy capital on day one so that they see that there's a lot of demand. And there's most likely other people like C2 Blockchain and other companies and other whales that want to do the exact same thing, where even though we don't have market makers, we do have people who have a ton of money that's willing to pump that day one to the first week or the first month on that exchange and just pump the market, and so that dog becomes the next trend. And so that's why you saw with Kraken, we dominated the Kraken F1 challenge because a ton of people liquidity, even OG General, was making sure that we were winning. And that's why we got Kraken to feature dog in the F1 car. So in terms of my conviction with dog, this is how I feel the exact same way. And now dog's a little bit longer. The thing is, dog is in a very particular position. Dog has been in the longest bear market for altcoins. We should have had an altcoin bull run starting in September, but it didn't happen. This is an elongated cycle. We've never seen anything like this before. And no matter who, like, it doesn't matter which analyst you talk to or which YouTube person you listen to, nobody knows what's going on. No, not even the most professional hedge funds know exactly what's going on. We try to do our best to mitigate the risk, but we absolutely don't know what's happening right now. And we're all just learning. And I think that's mainly due to President Trump becoming, making America US regulated for cryptocurrency and exchanges. It's really changed the game. We've never seen anything like this before. I believe that dog is not only going to go to $1 billion, but it's going to go much higher. Not because of Bitcoin's market share. That's one narrative. But the reason I know that it's going to go way above $1 billion and flip Floki, Bonk, and Dog Whiff Hat for sure is the community aspect isn't inflating the token, and the community is still here. And just like what I'm seeing with Solana and with Bonk, I'm seeing that there's huge upside, but majority of people never believe me. And that's the point, is that the 99% never, ever get exposure to these types of things. And then they buy their other token that they chase. And I think you saw that happen with Pengu. People were chasing Pengu when it had already topped. And now it's down almost 50% from that top. It's like 1.3 billion and lower when it used to be at around 2.4 billion. So people lost money chasing hype. And so I'm telling people right now, you want to get into dog before it goes up. You're like right now, what you guys are doing, you're reporting on dog at the right time, but most likely the 99% will actually be talking about dog when it pumps. And you don't want to be there when other influencers that are very big names are going to start talking about dog. You want to be there right now on this specific channel watching these people, Dog Damasa, we have Bello, Fred, we also have Roland, Bitmax. Like you guys right now, they need to pay attention to what you're doing right now. This is the alpha. And that's why I have so much conviction around dog to just hold. And then all you have to do is just wait. And that's basically it. So hopefully that's everything in a nutshell.
Man, I love it.
Amazing.
I love you, I love it.
JP, quer que eu traduza ou o Dog vai mandar?
Não, deixa eu tentar. Se eu falar alguma coisa,
E vou dar boa noite aí pro Fred, chegou na área aí também.
Fred, you
Fredão.
save now
Boa
us
noite.
to translate for the people of Brazil, but
Boa
you
noite,
came
pessoal.
later.
You guys are fake. You don't need me anymore. Your English is
No,
perfect.
no, you are perfect,
No,
man.
man, no.
You are MVP. You are our MVP. You speak native, even in English and Portuguese. You are a fighter. I will try to explain. O Vincent, cara, porra, mano, ele acho que pela primeira vez aí, mano, o Fred não tava aí, por isso que eu quis falar, ele trabalhou na indústria de filme, mano, o cara produzia filme, trabalhava aí pra Hollywood, e na pandemia, você produz o que na pandemia? Não produz porra nenhuma, né? Então daí ele abandonou, começou a fazer em cripto, fez o canal no YouTube dele, as primeiras 25 pessoas foram a família dele, que apoia, que a nossa família sempre apoia ali e segue tudo, e depois ele começou a fazer umas paradas de game ali, que ele foi ver o que tava hypando no momento, tudo, até ele chegar em cripto, né? Daí ele chegou em cripto, viu o mundo que era, né, tudo que estava acontecendo aqui, e ele teve duas oportunidades gigantes ali, né, que foi a do Bonk, né, que foi um airdrop também, e ele simplesmente largou lá e depois de 6 meses fez 7 dígitos, e também na época da Solana, na época da Solana, da época da FTX, que é aquela corretora do Sam Bankman, mas se vocês não sabem o que é isso, mano, dá uma pesquisada que vale a pena, são momentos marcantes de cripto, que a volatilidade comeu solta, e na antiguidade que eu falo, 5 anos atrás, 4 anos atrás, a volatilidade era ainda maior, então assim, parecia que o mercado cripto estava nas sombras, estava né? A gente era meio marginalizado. E ele comprou o medo, né? Comprou o Solana a $8 e a Solana bateu mais de 200 e ele realizou mais 7 dígitos, entendeu? Então, assim,
Caralho.
é um cara foda para um caralho, assim, sabe? E ele entendeu a convicção dele da Dog e é exatamente igual. 99% não vai acreditar na gente, isso é bom. Isso é muito bom, falar a verdade. E ele sentiu essa parada da Dog que, pô, todo mundo que tá aqui falando da Dog e ensinando melhores investidores e melhores holders, assim, porque é a comunidade que determina o preço da Dog. E a gente sabe que o preço dela, mano, é inestimável, tá ligado? Então, assim, essas coisas levam tempo, tudo, né? Ele falou também ali também do Trump ali, e depois o resto eu confesso que eu agora não lembro mais o que ele falou, né? Se o Fred ou alguém ficou algo importante, mete ficha aí que eu esqueci.
Pô, tem uma coisa importante que ele falou, mano. O bicho falou que quando ele botou o pé na porta foi como breakdancer, mano. O cara era um b-boy. Ah lá,
Mano,
ele fazia breakdance, por isso ele entrou na indústria. Vincent, I have a question. Is it cool if I make a Magic Mike joke or is that like too much?
I don't care, go for it.
É tipo, não sei se vocês já viram o Magic Mike, mas era aquela parada ali. O Matt, como é que é? O Channing Tatum. Esse é um b-boy de respeito, velho. Fez altos filmes dançando break.
sei, pode crer. Caralho, Vincent, ó.
Vincent dança break, velho. Bro, we
Oh,
want
the
the
first
Vincent
time- the first
breakdancing
time I
video.
Vocês sabiam da história do Vincent ou não?
Não.
Claro que não, irmão, por isso
Não,
que eu
né,
perguntei.
É.
Oh.
Vincent, is the first time you speak of your history, your work and your life or not?
Wait, can you repeat that one more time? Sorry.
Is that the first time you talk about your life like that? Like in a live stream or MA?
You know what it is? I think so, maybe. I think people just don't ask me. They don't really care, but I'm happy to share it. I think it's not really important in the crypto world, but I think some people just want to get to know, the voice, and they want to get to know me behind the PFP that I have. And I think the only reason why I don't dox myself is mainly for protection. So I think you guys are pretty much aware that if you become a very strong voice in certain things, some people can be very hostile or very angry and emotional. And so people can be very dangerous, believe it or not. And I've had multiple threats that were like people, like when I say threats, I'm talking like a teenager, threatened me saying, I'm going to find where you live. And I'm like, I'm so glad that you're only like 17 or 20 years old or whatever, because some people are just that dangerous. And so I have to be very careful, especially if I'm talking about dog and I'm responsible to making sure that dog has a good image, that I don't put myself at risk, So, I mean, that's pretty much it.
No, that's perfect, man. That's why I truly totally agree with you. I explained to the guys. Rapaziada, realmente isso aí é muito importante mesmo, né? Cripto ainda mais no Brasil, isso é uma loucura, né? Então, por exemplo, valorize, rapaziada, mesmo que põe a cara. Eu não tenho problema também de esconder minha cara aqui, ó. Mas eu evito, mas porque, sinceramente, o pessoal é muito maluco, né? A gente nem sabe, pô. E eu quero paz, mano. Quero paz aí, de verdade. E um dia essa dog vai estourar aí, vocês vão ver o que vocês vão fazer da vida aí.
Cara, principalmente, expor valores, assim, né? Tipo, eu não curto, mas tem a galera, tipo, mostra carteira e tudo mais. Cara, é um negócio que eu acho que não vale a pena, tá ligado? Ficar mostrando quanto tem. Tipo, tu não vê os caras que mexem, sei lá, com ação, mostrando quantos caras tem lá. Ah, eu tenho tantas ações de tal empresa, eu tenho tanto de...
Ah, mas sabe, né? É público, né?
Ah, não, tu tem, às vezes o cara é muito grande, tem a carteira pública, mas a grande maioria não mostra, cara. Já viu um cara muito grande mostrar quanto que tem? Ah, eu tenho aqui, ó, tenho 10 milhões de dólares em casas, 20 milhões aqui em ações. Os caras não mostram, velho, tá ligado? Então, até por preservar, tá ligado? A vida do cidadão, assim, que tá mostrando. Então, pô, massa demais aí saber a história. Temos um cara de Hollywood aí, rapaziada.
Vai, Fred, mete ficha aí, Fred. Agora chegou o momento dele, do lutador de boxe.
Porra, sparring violento aquele, hein? Tu postou
Mano,
lá
eu
no Twitter,
tô-
lá, hein?
Eu consegui, através do vídeo, falar com um cara que é matchmaker na Crypto Fight Night. Vamos ver o que vai dar.
Caraca, velho, que
Obrigado
massa.
pelo apoio. Pô, seria show. Vincent, bro, legend. Fellow ninja in the building. Dude,
Amazing, amazing.
you know what I
É,
bought on the day that FTX crashed? I could have bought Solana at $8, but I thought it was an amazing idea to put $5,000 and to buy all the Utes that I could find.
Oh yeah, I mean, I had exposure to Utes and DeGods as well. I think I lost over like 100 grand, roughly, give or take. But the thing is, I don't get mad at Frank. You know, like the thing is, we're so responsible for our own investment that if we start pointing fingers saying this person did that to me, this person did this to me, then we don't really take full accountability of our actions. So, you know, whatever Frank did, that's on him. You know, I respect the guy. I don't know where he's at. I'm sure he left because, you know, people were attacking him left and right and they were disappointed in the art. But yeah, I mean, I was a huge advocate of that collection, but I think right now that community is trying to find out what they're doing right now.
Yeah, look, I mean, 99% of startups fail, and then in crypto, 99.99% fail. So it's exponentiated. And yeah, the time of like crucifying builders for having failed at something, I don't think so, man. If they've shown integrity. With Frank, I can't say if he's shown integrity. I haven't followed everything to the T, so I don't really know. But I think you saw in his ethos score, he got slashed quite a bit. I'm not sure if you're familiar with ethos, Vincent.
No, I didn't know that. No, I wouldn't be surprised if he did get attacked.
Yeah, but then you got to take everything with a grain of salt, even the ones that, you know, attack him. So yeah.
yes. Guys, this is the good question. Vincent, do you know Leondas personally?
No, I actually don't. This is the best thing about, you know, me and Leo, is that we just formed a relationship that was completely organic. And for me and him, it's actually good that we don't know each other that closely. And the fact that we respect each other's space, like he likes to make decisions behind closed doors. He doesn't ever tell me if he's ever in conversation with anybody in terms of exchanges. And I absolutely respect that. That means he actually honors his word. And he isn't just like an insider telling, you know, his friends like, hey, I'm just letting you know it's about to be listed on this exchange. He's really, you know, very careful on letting people in his inner circle. But, you know, I had to garner his trust over the year and a half that's gone by, and it hasn't been easy. But yeah, I don't know him personally, but maybe one day I'll get to know him and meet him in person.
Yes. Man, tell us about the opportunity of the building with dog, and who we are still early in this community. Tell me us.
Wait, say that one more time. I'm so sorry.
O Fredão, traduz para ele. Eu acho que ele não entendeu.
Fala em português.
A oportunidade de buildar com a dog, tá ligado? E como a gente tá com a nossa comunidade nova ainda. Como a nossa comunidade ainda é nova.
Yeah, so in your estimate, since this community is still a new one, the dog community, what are the opportunities for building within that community, in your opinion?
In terms of building, I mean, like, I'll start from the very like bottom, which is like if you're a content creator. You guys already know this. You guys are content creators. But here's the benefit that I need to remind everybody, and that Leonidas tries to remind everybody, is the power of the dog effect. So when you report on dog on YouTube, if you do it on X, especially on X, what's great about using dog and typing the ticker dog and speaking very positively and educating, informing people about dog is that the impressions and likes, reposts, and comments actually qualify you to have the monetization payout by X. So this is the secret, right? Like dog can actually get you revenue, and it doesn't have to be dog paying you out. Dog is the ticker that allows you to have strong engagement. And then once you qualify for revenue, your tweets and posts and likes qualify you to get that revenue stream in your household, and it could be paid in US dollars. So imagine if you're in Brazil, the US dollar could be much stronger, and you would actually get paid a good amount of money that could be your like a living, right? It could be like I like seeing people who had small accounts grown to like over 5,000 followers, or people in just a matter of like a couple months, which is extraordinary. Like, I'll tell you the truth. Ever since April of 2024, my YouTube channel and my X account have grown almost 2 to 3x. And it's because mainly dog has been the main thing that I've been reporting on. So if people are asking, is this dog army real? Yeah, they're real. They're not just big on X, they're big on YouTube. Like, it's crazy, like how these people are so real and they show up. I did not get any of that engagement on Solana, on Ethereum, ever. Like, it's crazy. And if you want another reason why I report on dog, other than just the long-term conviction, it's also because the data that I've seen through analytics, like YouTube analytics, X analytics, they share with you your engagement. And they show you that it's real. Like, there's more people interested in dog than in any other meme coin. And here's the thing that I need to remind everybody. When you look at CoinMarketCap, when you look at the millions of tokens that are listed on there, the majority of them don't actually have communities, right? Like, I think Bitcoin has a community, XRP, Cardano has a community, Solana has a community. But when you look at meme coins, you know, the only few that can actually think that there are communities is Dogecoin, Pepe has a community, Pudgy Penguins, SPX 6900, and everything else is just trash. Like, that's about it. You know, maybe Snek, you know, Snek's a community in Cardano, but Dog Bitcoin is the strongest of all those communities. And I think somebody shared a screenshot. I don't know what it was. It was like the most mentions on October, and Dog was the 5th most mentioned ticker beneath Dogecoin, BNB, Bitcoin, and Ethereum. Like, that's huge. And so that's one avenue of how you can build on dog. Then there's other things, right? You saw what BitMax created. BitMax created the dog data because he's very good at that. And that's been beneficial for the entire community. And that's why I shared it on today's video. But creating video content also really good. Also creating memes. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but centralized exchanges like Gemini have been engaging with the dog army that have small accounts, right? So if you have only like a few hundred followers, say you don't have 1,000, say you have less than 1,000 followers. Well, I've actually noticed that Gemini has been interacting with people who have not that many followers. And just the other day, we saw that Coinbase listing agent, his name is Shaw, or I think his name is Nick Shaw. He responded to a dog holder who only had a few hundred. I think his name is Ordinals Al or Ordinals AI. And it just goes to show that because of the numbers of how big we are as a community, that's allowed for big exchanges to reach out to you. It doesn't always have to be me. It doesn't have to be Leonidas. It could be you guys. And that's why it's always so surprising. I think Dog Damasa Dog Damasa, can you remind me, you had done a thing where, I don't know if you tweeted to Gemini or some other exchange, but they responded to you and it garnered a lot of attention.
Yeah, I remember Rodrigo sent this guy who doesn't stop, who in Dog Brazil. The guys, it's a crazy rate with this. And Gemini, I repost and Gemini reply me, and that's the start there. And you, it's really amazing. You take the first thing and you make a film. Man, it's impressive. Gemini, it's impossible. It's inevitable. Don't see dog. You know, our community is real. We are real people. Real. That's why I create content. A content creator just about dog too and Bitcoin ecosystem. That because dog it's real. People, it's real. We need more best investors than traders. We need diamond hands. We need the holders. Do you know? That's my point of view.
Agreed. And that's a great way of like how you can build something for the community. Like, building doesn't have to be just technical. It could just be something that you already know and already learned. The whole point is that this is using your artistic skills to provide for the community. And that's why some people only create memes, and even memes are great use of garnering attention. We even had Arjun Sethi, the CEO of Kraken. He actually interacts with people from the dog army that have memes and AI images than people who just like, you know, type dog, the ticker. Like, it's crazy. So our numbers basically outweigh any other community that we've seen on X, and that's how people have been building. So whatever you have out there, if you're a dog holder and you're curious, how do I provide and build on top of dog? Well, just build on what you know. You don't have to be someone who is really good at Photoshop. There's literally tools out there like ChatGPT that can write articles for you. You have also other AI apps where you can create images and videos for you. So that's a great way of doing it, and it's absolutely free, right? So I would say these are the best ways to build on top of dog.
Fred,
Boa.
your time,
Fredão.
please. That's I know that's difficult, Fred, but try, my friend, please.
É que eu tava tão engajado no momento, assim, em inglês, nem me liguei que eu deveria, assim, traduzir também. Mas, basicamente, ele falou de buildar na base de dog em vários níveis. E o primeiro nível é simplesmente fazer o que fazemos aqui agora e criar conteúdo, né? Porque, assim, o engajamento que a gente tem como comunidade é maior do que quase qualquer outra comunidade de meme. É maior do que Shiba, Floki, etc. E isso já é uma grande base. E até corretoras como a Gemini estão engajando com pessoas que criam meme sobre a dog. Então, para quem tem 100, 200 seguidores, isso é uma grande ajuda no início, né, da carreira de criar conteúdo. Segundo, o que o BitMEX faz, né, que é criar aplicativos, analisar dados e daí para frente, né, usar a inteligência artificial para criar mais valor. Eu acho que a base de tudo é criar valor pela comunidade, né?
Exato, ele falou de pessoas reais também, né? Ou foi o Dog que falou? Acho que foi o Dog que falou, né? De pessoas reais, de fato. Tipo, na grande maioria das comunidades, os caras compram boot de Twitter, os caras compram seguidores, os caras compram robôs para ficar engajando em algum post, alguma coisa assim. E na Dog, não. A grande maioria das pessoas que estão ali engajando, a grande maioria são pessoas, de fato, né? Pessoas reais que estão ali realmente escrevendo aquilo e sentindo aquilo na pele, né? E não somente robôs para ficar engajando ou seguindo e tudo mais, né? Então, cara, isso realmente é top demais. Aí o Falcon meteu, ó. Comprei 2M. Aprendi com os chinês a comprar de balde. Ô, louco, 2M de milhão de dog? Se for isso, tá top demais, mano. 2 milhões de dog é bastante coisa, né? Enfim, top demais.
JP,
Opa.
só para falar aí que, porra, cara, assim, eu comecei a estudar programação há 3 anos atrás.
Boa.
E, tipo, eu peguei o HTML, o CSS, o início do JavaScript ali, não existia ChatGPT, não existia nada. Era fazendo as aulas e codando mesmo. Mas, cara, depois que surgiu o GPT, tipo, já facilitou muitas coisas.
Sim.
E depois que surgiu o cursor...
Aí fudeu tudo, né?
Um conhecimento que eu tinha que era básico, eu faço coisa pra caralho hoje, entendeu? E assim, você vê que 2 anos de esforço, você consegue sair do zero para botar uma parada dessa no ar aí, tipo... Teve esforço, mas eu tinha outro emprego, eu não fazia isso 8 horas por dia, eu fazia 1, 2 horas por dia que eu estudava programação.
Sim.
Só que vai acumulando com o tempo, né, cara? E tipo, pegar para usar o ChatGPT, para fazer prompt, daqui a pouco vocês vão começar a usar prompt em JSON para as imagens saírem mais fidedignas. Tipo, é uma parada que dá para aprender e a gente pode organizar até um bootcamp de destilação, como é que faz imagem, como é que usa o ChatGPT.
Pô, cara, isso aí é legal, hein?
como é que faz, né? Inspirado aí no que o Fred falou há um tempo atrás pra gente, que lá no Pizza Ninja vai ter tipo um curso mesmo para os influencers usar ferramentas.
Tá certo isso. Tem que aprender.
Cara, isso é massa, hein?
Chilar é uma habilidade, mano.
Não, o cursor é uma mão na roda, mano, total. Cara, eu não sei nada de fazer site nem nada. Eu consegui fazer um site pra mim, cara. E tipo assim, peguei dado de um site, dado do outro, juntei tudo e fiz um site. Cara, o cursor é muito massa, velho. Tá ligado?
Você tem dado em casa, JP?
Cara, eu tenho dado pra caralho em casa. Aí, ó, o Crypto Dealer aí, ó, acabou de comprar 1,5 milhão de dog, também é uma boa quantidade. E sempre lembrem, rapaziada, façam gestão de risco, né? Tomem cuidado. A gente não tá no momento tão bom assim para as altcoins. Então, cara, o Bitcoin performou muito bem esse ciclo e os anos, né, que se passa. Cara, desde 2023 o Bitcoin tá subindo sem parar. Então, nesse ciclo a atenção tá mesmo para o Bitcoin e não para as altcoins. Então, façam sua gestão de risco, comprem pouco capital, não compra tudo. Provavelmente o Crypto Dealer aí sabe o que tá fazendo, né? Porque comprou 1,5 milhão de dog não é pouca coisa, digamos assim, né? Então, cara, sempre façam tudo direitinho. Aqui a gente tem, cara, cada um aqui sabe o que tá fazendo. Então, eu tenho minha quantidade que eu acho necessário de ter. O Vincent compra de pá. O cara tá todo dia aí comprando um Bitcoin, meio Bitcoin na dog, né? A gente até pode perguntar isso aí para ele. Mas antes, eu queria saber a opinião dele. O Vincent, man, what do you think about the current market now? The global market. What do you think about that?
Let me see here. Maybe you could share something on the screen. Let's see here. I'm going to look for...
Yes, I put here.
Do you guys see this?
Just a moment. Please. Here. Okay.
So you can kind of see it? Okay.
Yes.
So let's focus. This is something I think is very important for the viewers to understand, is that people are wondering, could we experience more downside for altcoins, not Bitcoin. I'm talking about altcoins.
This is a total trace, menos USDT.
Yeah. So basically, this is like the altcoin market, right?
Yes.
And you're using this against Bitcoin's price. And, we just saw that recent capitulation event, which we saw over here, where, the whole altcoin market hit this specific level at 0.29.
Yes.
So we briefly just touched it, but we aren't actually there. This is just a big wick. We need to actually see candles to hit this point. Why do I think we actually need to see the altcoin market bleed a little bit more? Well, it's because I need to see Bitcoin dominance continue to go up. So this is Bitcoin dominance, which you've seen over and over. This is based on the weekly time frame. Yes. Now, when you're looking at Bitcoin dominance, I actually think we need to get back up to 64%. Right now, we're at 59. So I think right now, up until December, what we need to see is that we need to see Bitcoin making new all-time highs. So when Bitcoin makes new all-time highs, it does not mean altcoins will pump massively. I think altcoins, especially Ethereum, top 10, and especially other risk-on assets such as DOG, they will pump, but they will lag behind. So this doesn't mean DOG won't pump. Okay, so if Bitcoin goes from 109,000 today to, if it goes to 64%, what if it goes to 150,000 to 200,000? DOG will pump just as hard, but we're not looking for 50% or 100% pump. I'm talking about what a parabola event is for DOG. In order for DOG, and once we see, this is the DOG chart, by the way, when we see Bitcoin reaching those all-time highs of 150,000 to 200,000, we could experience maybe 100% increase, or maybe less than that. Maybe let's just be realistic. What if it's only 70%, right? So if I take this price and bring it up to, say, actually this is a little different. This is more like gains. We actually do need to see something like this where it can go up into the hundreds of percents, right? So that would bring us above $1 billion. But that isn't actually how these major pumps happen for, say, for instance, Dogecoin. like when Dogecoin was around, when it first pumped, this is the Dogecoin chart. If we go back in the very first pump that it happened, right? If we take this price range, whoopsie daisy. That's what you need to see. You need to see over thousands of percent, and it can happen. It happens with every single coin. If I take Bonk, for example, same thing. It went up to around 5,000% in its very first pump, which is what I experienced. That's the time that I took profits as well. So Dog has not seen anything like that, where we've seen major gains to that level, right? We're only kind of in this micro journey of like price discovery. But even at a 700% gain, that's not what we most likely could see that when Bitcoin continues to make new all-time highs from 150 to 200,000. But I think what will send Dog Bitcoin to, you know, above 2 billion, 4 billion, $5 billion, which would put it in the 4,000%, is you have to have these catalyst events. And what are those catalyst events? It could be Coinbase. I think that's a huge component. Gemini is not a bad exchange, but it isn't as big as Coinbase. Coinbase is like a green light for exchanges. And so for me, I really need to see, before I even talk about Dog, I think what we really need to see on the weekly time frame for the altcoin sector is just pretty much we need to see it reach around the 29% level, or sorry, the 0.29. And when that happens, that makes me feel comfortable that altcoin season is going to begin, right? And once it hits that specific level, that's when altcoin season began, because it happened back in 2021. It happened back in 2017. Now, if I take others, the exact same thing. This is others against Bitcoin, everything but Bitcoin. Same thing, we need to hit 0.08, and we haven't hit that specific point yet. So Bitcoin will pump, Ethereum will pump, but if we don't see Bitcoin reaching all-time highs, this is what I think is going to happen. I think we won't see an altcoin season, to be very honest with you guys, until May, roughly May of 2026. And the reason I say that is because in May of 2026, that's when we have a new Fed chair replacing Jerome Powell. That's in this section around May. And so what can that do for Bitcoin dominance? I think Bitcoin dominance will then drop significantly after that. And then we'll see what we saw back over here in the 2017 altcoin bull run, and then over here in the 2021 altcoin season bull run. I think will happen roughly around May, the latest, right? The latest I think it could happen, or like the earliest I think it could happen around May. So again, anything can happen. The markets change every single day, but in conclusion, that's just what I see in terms of the charting. I just think it helps us understand what we could expect. Oh, actually, there's another thing I want to share with you guys on the short-term time frame, right? This is Dog, just Dog alone.
Yes, I think. Sorry, man.
Go ahead.
No, I think in this moment is the best time for buy Dog.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and any time between now, like November could kick in. Keep in mind, November could be very bullish for crypto, just because if we look at the Bitcoin monthly returns, which is this specific diagram, yeah, like October is like a negative month, but this was like the very first time in October that we saw negative 3%. This is the second one of the lowest earnings ever in Bitcoin's history, compared to in 2018, where it was negative 3.8%, and in 2014, negative 12. November, most of the times is very positive. But if we get another red month in November, it could replicate what we saw in 2018. As you see in November in 2018, it was negative 36%. And we could see, if we get October, November, December in red, I'm actually very bullish that we're going to have a very, very, very good parabola in Q1 of 2026, because this cycle is unlike any other. So I want to go back to the Dog chart, which is right over here. So something that I've actually noticed every single time is if you look at the MACD on the very bottom, you see these, and I mentioned in today's video, these like yellow smiles or circular bottoms. I always see that every time we bottom over here, we start to see the MACD trend upwards, which this is in the seller's market, and then we cross over into the buyer's market. And it looks like Dog is wanting to do that again, right? We're seeing it happen once again, where we're starting to trend upwards because we've been in a seller's market since August. And so every time we start to see a reversal where we saw a bottom back over here in August of 2024, we went right back up, crossed over to the buyer's market, and you saw that reflective in the price where we were bottoming out right here. And then based on what we're seeing the MACD, there was the pop off right here. And then that took us a new all-time high of 999 million market cap. Same thing happened over here. We experienced a bottom, and we saw it to see an upward trend within the MACD. And then you started to see a reversal where we were oversold. And then right at this point where this collision emoji is, we popped off and then we pumped to the upside. And by the way, these little collision emojis align perfectly with the rainbow adaptive RSI indicator. And so what we're seeing here is potentially the exact same thing where we're in this falling wedge, but we're seeing the MACD go upwards, and we could see any collision event, a breakout to the buyer's market in any part of the month of November if there are no black swan events, if Trump doesn't ruin anything with China, if there's no global warfare, if there's nothing that's going to be a black swan event, then we could break out into the buyer's market, and that could be a really quick reversal to the upside. And I will remind everybody, just to kind of close that off, is that when this pump does happen, it will happen very quickly. And I want to remind everybody, it's okay to take profits on dog. Don't be that person that says, I'm going to hodl dog to the moon and dog's going to make me rich. This is what happened to Dogecoin. Dogecoin, people thought it was going to hit $1 before Elon Musk went on SNL, and then it capitulated. And we saw a ton of people lose money. So if you want to be a good dog investor, you need to make sure that when that pump does happen, if it happens within 10 days or 60 days, you need to take profits, rotate it back into Bitcoin or stable coins. And then if the market dumps, buy dog again. The thing is, to be a dog army member is to be a dog army investor. Know when to take profits and then come back in. Because even if you take profits on dog and you come back in, you're still a dog army member. In fact, the whole point of dog is not to just be the best meme coin across all blockchains, but it's supposed to change people's lives, right? And if anything, you should be very proud to take profits and pay for your bills and pay for anything that you need to afford to, go on vacation or whatever, buy your parents a new house. You want to say, like, guess what? The reason I made this money is because I supported a great cause. That this was a coin that was here to not just exploit the corruption, but was here to make a point that we're not a coin full of insiders and team members, that we're a coin that tested the waters, challenged the biggest exchanges in the world with no fear, and we made money from it. And guess what? I'm going to buy back dog when it dips again, and you can still support the cause. Dog is just like Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin, people love Bitcoin, but people take profit on Bitcoin. And just because they take profit on Bitcoin doesn't mean they hate it. It's because they still love it and they'll come back again. That's what makes you a great trader. So this is just everything what I expect in terms of the macro scale of the market. But all in all, in conclusion, I think that if we don't see Bitcoin and Ethereum reach new all-time highs by the end of this year, then most likely we won't see an altcoin season until May, starting in May of 2026. But that's a good thing, because even Benjamin Cohen, who is a very realistic analyst, who is not always about hopium, even predicts that we could see a very bullish month for altcoin season at that time. But he's also very open to the fact that we haven't seen euphoria just yet in the crypto market. Euphoria hasn't kicked in yet. So if we haven't seen euphoria, maybe euphoria in that altcoin season is just right around the corner, and it could be the end of this year. So yeah, hopefully that makes sense.
Amazing vision, man. Thank you. Fredão.
Vincent, since we haven't had a time where Bitcoin dominance was really dropping since pretty much 2022, right? You've been showing that.
Yeah, correct.
Do you think that we're almost at the point when everyone is kind of capitulating and thinking like there's not going to be an altcoin season? And shouldn't that be like a good moment?
Yeah, that's correct. I think the best indicators, and you're absolutely spot on, Fred, is look at all the YouTubers. What are they reporting on the most? They're not talking about altcoin season anymore right now. They're actually talking about, is this the end of altcoin season? That's your indicator. Influencers, the big ones, the big YouTube influencers, are the best indicators. If they report on a coin, like if they report on a coin and it's pumping, that means it's too late. That means the indicator is telling you that you're buying the top. And when these influencers then talk about altcoin season beginning, that means altcoin season's not getting a beginning. That means it's probably going to go down and Bitcoin dominance is going to go up. But if everybody's on YouTube saying, I don't know if altcoin season is going to happen, like you said, Fred, that's the indicator. Yeah. And the thing is, like, Binance knows this. Wintermute, the market maker, knows this. They know people are always very bullish whenever good news comes out from President Trump, from China, tariffs, rate cuts. The next rate cut is in December 10th. I have a feeling people aren't going to feel as bullish anymore around that rate cut, but maybe, Fred, maybe that's when things reverse.
We're ready for it.
Yes. Depois eu queria perguntar para ele se ele não acha... Vincent, in 2021, we have taxes Fed 0 and central banks equal 0. Do you know? And today, the tax of Fed and another banks is 3 or 4 taxes. You know. Do you think the altcoin season is started equal 2022 or different? Because the central bank's digital currency and the in 2022 the Fed printing a lot of money, and now and now not.
Right. Yeah, you know, let's I just will say this about 2021, 2022. We are not going to experience a 2021 or 2022. Why? Because we're not in lockdown. And also, there was so much money printing, not just in the US, but everywhere around the world because people were locked down. They had to take care of their country and their people. So we're not going to experience anything like 2021 or 2022. I would really pay attention to 2017. That's more realistic. 2017, during the ICO boom, there weren't millions of cryptocurrencies. There were only a few thousand. And in my eyes, what could happen this cycle? When altcoin season begins, altcoin season is every altcoin, right? Not even the crappiest altcoin. You could throw your money at every single altcoin and you'd still make money. But this specific cycle, I don't want people to be thinking that altcoin season is the entire altcoin season. In fact, I'll use DOG as an example. Okay, so recently we had an Ethereum bull run. Before that, we had a Solana bull run, and before that was XRP bull run. Now, each one of these top altcoins, which large market caps, they all had their individual pumps, right? And then same thing with meme coins. SPX 6900 went from 600 to almost close to 2 billion. It was actually like, I think 1.6 billion or something like that. And then Pengu went from 600 million to over 2 billion. Now it's like, it's dropped significantly ever since then. People bought the top. So the point I'm bringing here is DOG does not depend on altcoin season. The reason I like DOG so much is because DOG is just like these other coins. When you have a great community with Pengu, there is a community with Pengu, there's a community with SPX, you know, Ethereum, Solana, XRP, they all have great communities. Because you have great communities, they, like big exchanges or big people will look at that and say, I'm going to have some exposure into this, right? Like, look at ModCoin. ModCoin had a community, but it's kind of dead now. There's no community around. I barely see anybody typing in Mog anymore. And so regardless of what the altcoin market's going to look like, if it's going to happen in May of 2026, if it's going to happen at the end of this year, it does not matter. For DOG, for instance, DOG will have its moment before anybody realizes it. And I've been trying to tell this to people over and over. This is what happened with Bonk. This is what happened with Solana. And it's going to happen to DOG. It's because all the metrics are there. And the reason DOG is so good is not because it's just built on Bitcoin. It's because of the people that make it amazing. I don't know if you've noticed, but most exchanges are very much aware of DOG. They are. I'm talking about Binance, OKX, HTX, KuCoin, Crypto.com. They all know DOG, but the reason they're not engaging with it is because they want to get paid. The gatekeepers want to get paid. And the reason they know about DOG is because you guys and girls out there in the world keep talking about DOG. And so we saw this happen with Pepe before Pepe got listed on Coinbase and pumped to over $1 billion really quickly. It's the exact same thing. But DOG was released in a very bearish market, right? When DOG came out, the market wasn't in our favor. It was actually, we've been in a downtrend for the whole altcoin sector, like this entire 2024, actually ever since 2022. So what I will say is when you're looking at dog, don't look at it as the altcoin market. Just look at it as an individual asset. And when you just focus on that, you narrow your focus and you ignore all the pumps that you can chase on these other things. And all you have to do is just wait. But some people can't do that. So that's my overall thoughts on where we are with the altcoin sector and when we can experience altcoin season. And if it simulates 2022, I don't think so. I think it simulates 2017.
As a matter of fact, I think the MOG glasses should be repurposed.
Yeah, I agreed. But look at that. I mean, even right there, boom.
Right? Why not? Although I think they've transcended MOG. I see a lot of broader crypto folks just wear them as well.
Ô, Fredão, se tu quiser dar uma resumida no que ele falou aí pra galera, depois a gente lê o superchat aí do Guilherme. Tipo, não precisa falar tudo, porque ele falou dos...
Não, eu tô tentando resumir numa frase só. Eu acho que se resume melhor de tal forma. Ele diz que não vejam só a DOG como uma altcoin, mas vejam a DOG como um patrimônio em si, uma moeda em si que tem uma dinâmica única. E os melhores investidores são capazes de investir numa moeda e fazer nada por um tempo prolongado, né? E a gente tem que se tornar um investidor assim. Faz nada, só tem convicção e é por aí que acaba.
Boa. O Guilherme mandou 50, meu irmão. Hoje eu vou sair daqui rico, hein? Pode mandar mais, rapaziada.
Ô, Guilherme.
Aí sim, meu brother. Ele tem uma pergunta pro Vincent aí, ó. Eu acho que ele já respondeu, mas... Enfim. Vincent, Guilherme have one question for you. Do you think could be Bitcoin go to all-time high this year?
There is a high potential. So I've been paying attention to what people do, not what they say. So what does that mean? I've been paying attention to Tom Lee from BitMine. He's been buying a ton of Ethereum. Now, he's buying Ethereum thinking that Ethereum is going to reach 10,000 by the end of the year. And then on the other side, there's this other guy who I respect, Benjamin Cohen, who says that if we don't see Bitcoin reach new all-time highs, then you're going to see Bitcoin dip, and then you're going to see the altcoin sector dip along with it. So you have somebody who's Tom Lee, who is a part of a hedge fund who manages multi-millions of dollars, and then you have an analyst who's a YouTuber who's been pretty spot on Bitcoin dominance. So who do you actually believe? So sometimes I pay attention to what people do, like Tom Lee, and he's buying Ethereum at almost 3,700, possibly knowing that maybe the market could top off by the end of the year. So if Bitcoin's going to reach new all-time highs by the end of the year, that means he's betting that Ethereum is going to reach $10,000 by the end of the year. And if that happens, that means altcoins are also going to pump as well. That means DOG is going to do maybe more than 100%, in my personal perspective, maybe 50 to 100% really quickly, just due to that. Now, could Tom Lee lose money? Listen, just because Tom Lee runs a multi-million-dollar hedge fund does not mean he's always right. I remember when Raoul Paul, a really well-respected person,
Don't get me started.
He said that Ethereum was going to flip Bitcoin at one point. This is a while back, right? And I'm like, what? And it never did, obviously. And this was when, back in 2021. But, Raoul Paul thinks we're going to go into the banana zone. But when analysts and people are that bullish, I tend to look the other way and say, you know what are the people that think the other way? What are the people that like to be realistic? Because you don't always want to be listening to people that want to tell you what you want to hear. You want to listen to people that know the truth and hear the downside of things. And I like that. I like knowing that what's the downside, right? So emotionally I can be ready, because that way I can have funds to buy the things that I want to buy, knowing that we can come back in May of 2026. And by the way, May of 2026 is not too long away from now. It happens so quickly. So yeah, I mean, I think Bitcoin definitely needs to keep pumping by the end of the year. Could we see that? It's a coin toss. I will not tell you that it's going to happen. But when it does happen, you have to be ready and be sure to take profits on whatever altcoin you have I can't guarantee. The thing is, I'll say that now, but if in December things continue to pump into February, I'm okay with being wrong. I would be glad that the markets continue to pump, but you have to take like some of your profits out, meaning not like 100%, but maybe in November or December when things start to pump and DOG goes above $1 billion or whatever, right? Or Ethereum or Bitcoin reach new all-time highs, you take in 25% and then another 25%. You take all that money, put it back into stable coins or into Bitcoin, and you just hold on to buy those dips, right? But if it continues pumping, at least you took your profits out early. Because I remember when I bought Bonk continued to go high, right? Bonk, once it was at 2.1 billion, it went higher, but I took my profits early, but I didn't have regrets. Same thing with Solana. When Solana went from $8 to $200, I took profits at $200, but the thing is, it kept pumping to 235. And so the lesson here is you can never time taking profits, but I'll tell you from experience, I did not feel bad taking profits. I felt very good. Same thing is happening here with DOG, right? So just know when to take profits, and you'll never get it right, but as long as you can learn to press the sell button at the right time, you have become a really great investor.
Good, man.
The Tom Lee guy, is that the one with the Pengu as a profile picture from Fundstrat Capital?
Correct.
Cool. I just shot him a follow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Galera, o Vincent está falando aqui que é bem capaz de atingir um all-time high, mas o que é mais importante é a gente aprender a apertar o botão para vender. Porque quando as coisas acontecem de uma forma rápida e violenta. E a gente tem que aprender a vender aos poucos, 25%, para realmente poder falar, né? Pô, a DOG mudou a minha vida.
Sim.
E, bom, é isso que o Vincent enfatizou também.
Ó, o Guilherme falando, ó, acredito que se tiver out-season vai ser a última pernada de alta. Cara, eu acho que, assim, talvez a gente não veja uma out-season igual na 2020. Tu pode... então, eu acho, não sei se vai ter. Pode ter, pode não ter, sabe? Não dá pra decidir, não dá pra colocar uma coisa, vai ter ou não vai ter, entendeu? Não dá pra o cara afirmar isso, entende? Então, faça isso que o Vincent falou, tá ligado? Sempre ir realizando aos poucos. E o homem tem também, ó, 45 milhões de DOG. Aí sim, cara. Brabo, hein? Top demais, mano. Topzera. Aí sim, ó. Rapaziada, 690 pessoas passaram aí na live. Então, se tu tá aí, ó, já deixa um likezão, mano. Te inscreve aí nos canais. Estamos ao vivo no canal do Miguelão. Cadê o Miguelão, hein? O Miguelão acho que vendeu, hein?
Tá dando Miguelão em nós.
Tá dando um baita Miguelão, mano.
Tá dando
Eu
Miguelão
acho que
em
o
nós.
Miguelão vendeu as dog dele, desistiu, saiu fora, tá ligado? Fala aí, Bitmax.
A queda do Miguel foi as skins de CS, cara.
Aí,
Você não
ó.
lembra, não, cara, que o mercado de skin de CS caiu 50%, ele perdeu metade do dinheiro dele.
Mano, eu acho que foi isso aí, exatamente. As skins de CS deu um drawdown nele fudido, ele vendeu tudo no fundo, e aí, porra, trocou dog por skin de CS, né? E acabou se fudendo. A mãe dele deixou ele de castigo. Mano, só imagina. E tamo ao vivo no canal dele ainda, falando dele. Tamo ao vivo no canal dele, mano. É isso aí, velho. Tá ligado? Aí, ó, boa noite. Ainda estou com as minhas 15 mil moedas para o futuro. Aí sim, mano. Fernando brabo aí, ó. Sanix, Dogs and... Salve o B-Money também por aí. Tamo junto, meu brother. É nóis. Tamo junto, pai. Pô, cara, top demais a visão do Vincent, mano.
Eu queria falar aí tem uma curiosidade, acho que eu vou falar em português e o Fred traduz aí pro Vincent, que acho que essa aí eu não vou conseguir falar em inglês. Mas eu acredito que, a gente vai acabar vendo ciclos mais longos, né? Eu acho que a volatilidade de cripto que existia, ela vai sumir conforme o tempo, sabe? Não vai ser aquela volatilidade maluca que a gente está acostumado em cripto, e ele vai acabar sempre cada vez mais correlacionado com o mercado tradicional também, né? Então a gente não vai ver tantos pump igual a gente vê antes, e também os dump, né? Porque a gente sabe que depois de uma subida forte precede uma queda forte também, principalmente em cripto, né? Que a gente vê aí ativos corrigindo principalmente em altcoin, mais de 95%, 96%. Então, se você tem estômago para ver o seu dinheiro fazer isso, welcome to crypto. Se não, né? Então, acho que eu queria saber se o Vincent acredita em ciclos mais longos e se tem a ver isso aí, sabe? Por exemplo, assim, acho que os pump vai ser às vezes menor, mas também o drawdown menor também. Então, tem um positivo e negativo aí do mesmo lado. Então, a volatilidade é um aliado, tem que ser um aliado e não um inimigo.
Boa pergunta, Vincent. I'm going to hit you with the question from Doug Damassa here. So, over time, we've seen Bitcoin become more correlated with traditional assets, with S&P 500, more institutions buying in. We've seen volatility drop, right, over time. It seems like the world knows how to price Bitcoin more and crypto in general a little bit more as the years go by. Would you agree with that in the future that we're already seeing longer drawn out cycles because of that, and that we shouldn't expect the type of 50, 60, 70% drawdowns on our Bitcoin any longer from here on forward?
Yeah, I actually do agree. No matter what we're seeing with people, like right now, people are buying Ethereum, meaning like Wall Street is buying Ethereum. I think Wall Street wants you to believe that Ethereum is going to make new all-time highs and that it's going to pump, 2x, maybe 3x. Really, it's a distraction. I think people really need to focus on Bitcoin. Bitcoin's the mother of all coins, right? And there's only limited supply. What those Ethereum people are doing, like Tom Lee and everybody, they're telling you buy Ethereum, but really they're going to sell Ethereum to buy more Bitcoin. I remember when Ethereum was at 1,400 or something like that, 1,800, everybody was flooding Ethereum. And now, just like Solana, right? Everybody's flooding Solana, everybody's flooding Ethereum. And then now everybody's buying Ethereum. You just got to like look at what people are actually doing, right? And soon they're going to sell it. They're going to buy Bitcoin. Bitcoin is always going to be the narrative, no matter what people say. Like people in Wall Street think that Ethereum is the meta, when really they want people to focus on that. It's misdirection. And they're actually focused on, how am I going to buy more Bitcoin? Well, I got to convince people to buy more Ethereum, and I could sell my profits of Ethereum on those retail investors. And so eventually, the reason why Bitcoin hasn't been reaching the news lately, like meaning people haven't been focusing on Bitcoin compared to Ethereum, is because Bitcoin's not making new all-time highs right now. And so when it does happen, I think this elongated cycle, the price volatility of Bitcoin is staying stable, but it will actually pump really hard. That's not out of the question. Remember, the reason the markets are being manipulated is because Binance and Wintermute are trying to liquidate all the longs. As long as people are still greedy, they're gonna liquidate all those people that are very bullish on Bitcoin. Because of that, that's why Bitcoin has been like this for so long. It's just on-chain data. So eventually, Binance and Wintermute, or maybe other market makers on different exchanges that probably have communications with Binance, I have no idea. They're going to work together in their cabal, and then since they've already convinced people the market's not going to move or it's going down, that's when the short squeeze happens. And then Bitcoin will no longer be considered elongated cycle. Bitcoin's no longer going to stay stable. It's going to go up pretty fast. That has never changed. And Bitcoin will always do that. It will always have that massive FOMO rally. And that's when euphoria kicks in. It may not happen. It may happen within the month of November or December. If it does not, it will happen in May, again, after we have a new chair. And so this will happen regardless. And the reason why people are so impatient is because they waited almost 4.5 years for altcoin and Bitcoin to make new all-time highs, and they know you're tired, and they know some people don't have the energy to stick around, and that's the whole point. And one of the best ways to wait it out and have patience is just simply fall in love with the things that you care about the most. For me, it's dog and Bitcoin. I hold those two only, and that's all I care about. And to me, because I have such faith in both of those, I'm not distracted by anything else. It's easy for me to just stay with it and just hold and want to buy more. To me, that just help. I think people should find out which community that is. If it's not dog, maybe it's an altcoin, maybe it's another meme coin. But just make sure that when you do buy that, can you hold on for a year or less? Are you not going to be emotional when other people are fudding your coin? That's why every day I show up for dog, because I know what it's about to do, and it doesn't take at all any ounce of energy to convince me to stick around. Like, even if dog or anything drops, I won't be shaken out. It's impossible. Like, I know what dog's going to do.
Ai, se todo mundo tivesse essa convicção, a gente vai aprender muito com o pessoal.
Tá certo.
cara. Fala aí, Fredão, fala aí.
So do you think, so you said Bitcoin will always make these moves. Is that because the problem Bitcoin is solving is so absolutely massive that it's like, we're talking about 100 trillion thing, right, to solve, and we're at 2 trillion?
Yeah, I mean, if you think about Bitcoin as one of the largest assets in the world, it's still beneath gold. It's still beneath NVIDIA. It's still beneath Amazon. I think it's, beneath Amazon. It will be in the multi-trillions, right? Like, this is just, it's going to happen. Like, look at how people keep, like, it's so funny. We get caught up in the mess of the news and what people are talking about with Ethereum and other coins, and also the S&P, that, dude, like, Bitcoin has outperformed gold forever. And also, Bitcoin is outperforming the housing market. It's outperforming the NASDAQ. Like, this is what Bitcoin is. And it's going to continue doing that. And I remember when 2021 was the exact same story. Like, people couldn't believe that Bitcoin was going to hit 64,000. We're at 100. We almost hit 126,000. Yet, we don't think about it because we're living in the now, but when we look at history, Bitcoin will always outperform everything, and that will not change. And Bitcoin will eventually hit between $500 to $1 million by 2030. This is just how it's going to happen.
Dog da Massa, só para responder aqui a sua pergunta antes, em termos de volatilidade, o Vincent basicamente disse que ele espera Bitcoin, né? Para ver Bitcoin um pouquinho separado do resto de cripto, né? Ele espera o Bitcoin sempre fazer movimentos violentos, parabólicos, até que a gente alcançar o máximo de potencial de, né, mais de 100 trilhões de dólares de capitalização de mercado. Porque é o que Bitcoin faz. E, por enquanto, esses últimos tempos, tem tido muita manipulação no mercado de instituições, né, jogando com o investidor normal. Por exemplo, dizendo, comprem Ethereum para poder vender Ethereum para os investidores normais. E eles estão fazendo esses jogos sujos, assim, de comprar as coisas, colocar uma narrativa e comprar outra coisa por trás. E é isso que ele está acreditando que está acontecendo.
Can I also mention one thing? So I got to get going in just a little bit, but I just want to kind of share something that's been on my mind that I think people should remember. We're talking about Bitcoin meme coins, even Bitcoin ordinals, right? The Bitcoin DeFi. This is the first time we've ever seen anything like this. Bitcoin DeFi just emerged a couple years ago. So I was there when Solana and Ethereum and their ecosystem started emerging. I'm seeing the exact same thing happen here, where just like in Solana, Ethereum, people don't know what to buy. On Solana, people were buying gaming, people were buying NFTs, and people were buying meme coins weren't really a thing with Solana at that time. But Ethereum, same thing. When I was in there with Ethereum, I remember when Uniswap just launched, Pepe, Shiba Inu, they all just kind of came out. And those meme coins on Ethereum started becoming a very sharp trend. But the reason I'm saying this is because the people developing apps and products on Ethereum and Solana, they're migrating over here to Bitcoin, right? And when you know that, you see people building L2s. You're seeing people build on the base layer of Bitcoin. there's more capital that's going to funnel into Bitcoin more than Solana and Ethereum combined. Like by even if you put Solana and Ethereum combined, add 3x to that, it will not amount to what Bitcoin DeFi is going to do. So when you're buying into Dog right now, let's not even just talk about Dog. Let's talk about Bitcoin meme coins. I'm talking about Dog, Mim, Pups, $1 billion cat, right? Like, say these are just a few communities. They're going to outperform Ethereum and Solana meme coins. So when the Bitcoin meme coin bull run does happen, and it will flip all of those coins. And you can say right here on this channel that you knew ahead of time that it was going to happen. But the reason why people aren't chasing it now is because the 99% always chase things late. They're not going to be here early. There were people early on in Solana when Dog Whiff Hat was around, when Bonk was around. I was around those crowds, right? And when you're around those crowds, it's a very small crowd, just like this. It's the 1%. You're part of the 1% that people are watching. The people on this space right now, that's the 1%. And by the time that every influencer talks about it, if it's YouTubers or whatever, they're too late. So Bitcoin DeFi is very huge. It's exponential. Most people won't believe you, and that's okay. But because we've been here for a while, we know this is to me where Dog is going to melt faces. And that's why Dog, if it doesn't flip Dogecoin, it's most likely going to flip Shiba Inu, the second largest meme coin market cap. Like, we talk about flipping Dogecoin, but let's be realistic. Maybe it's 100% likely they'll flip Shiba Inu. It's 50-50 flipping Dogecoin. You know why? Because Dogecoin's got Elon Musk. And if we don't have Elon Musk with us, it's a little bit difficult to flip Dogecoin. But if people hate Elon Musk, then we have that opportunity to flip Dogecoin. But they have a community over there, right? And we only have one tier 1 centralized exchange listing, which is Kraken. Coinbase, we know, acknowledged the blue carpet application. We had the listing agent confirm with the Dog Army that's in process. All we're really waiting for, to me, is does Dog qualify for the amount of liquidity to allow Dog to perform well in Coinbase? And number 2, Rune's infrastructure. Kraken took a month and a half after they were pretty confirmed that they were going to start supporting Runes. It took them a month and a half to implement the Runes infrastructure because it's new. Just like it was new when we had Ethereum ERC20 tokens, right? It's the exact same thing. And so when you're focusing on Bitcoin DeFi, focus on the Bitcoin meme coin sector, but also focus on ordinals, right? Choose your favorite ordinals. If it's the Dog PFPs, if it's OMB, if it's Node Monkeys, focus on these collections, have exposure, and just hold it. And because I don't have any upside in Solana and Ethereum. Like, there's no upside. They're all done. Like, they're oversaturated. They're boring. And if anything, the only reason they're going to pump is artificial by market makers, right? And even NFTs, like NFTs on Ethereum and Solana, there's nothing pushing it right now. The thing about Bitcoin DeFi and Bitcoin ordinals and Runes is that we have a lot of catalyst events that are coming up because we've never seen a Bitcoin meme coin bull run and we've never seen a Bitcoin ordinals bull run to reach major all-time highs. We did see ordinals flipping Ethereum NFTs, but we haven't seen them hold that position for a long time. So this will happen really quickly. And when it will happen, no one will know. The question is, how patient are you? But this is what people are going to focus on. And this is why we have Tim Draper building on Bitcoin DeFi. We even have Arjun Sethi from Kraken getting the early signals, trying to support Bitcoin memes before they blow up. Basically, Arjun, who I'm in touch with, by the way, he even tells me in private DMs that he continues to shill Dog. I love that. That was like recently. So Arjun Sethi is a huge component of Bitcoin memes becoming the norm. But he's building Bitcoin memes on Kraken because he knows when the Bitcoin meme coin happens, he wants customers to use their app first. And I think with Coinbase and Gemini just around the corner, seeing that Kraken has listed it, they most likely will follow suit. But the most important thing I want to share with everybody before I leave, you have to keep engaging with Coinbase and Gemini and keep telling them, list Dog, because it worked with Kraken, it will work with Coinbase and Gemini, and will happen eventually.
Boa, Vincent.
Boa.
That was awesome. O Vincent vai ter que meter o pé daqui a pouco. Vincent, I'm going to translate here for the crowd what you shared in the end. And the main message, a mensagem assim central do que você falou é: seguem engajando com Coinbase, seguem engajando com o Gemini, porque foi assim que deu certo com o Kraken e é assim que a gente vai conquistar os outros. Né? That's the main message for everyone, and I think that's a beautiful one.
Massa. Principalmente a Gemini, né, mano? Porque o cara... Como é que é o nome lá do carinha que comprou? É um cara que tem a ver com as listagens ali da Gemini, que comprou Dog na rede da Solana, inclusive, né? E... Porra, massa demais. Tu vê essas bridges aí funcionando, mano. Pra mim... Eu quero... A gente quer colocar...
através da bridge?
Oi?
Você já comprou através da bridge?
Cara, eu acho que teve uma vez só que eu comprei na Solana, né? Porque a
Preciso
bridge, ela...
testar como funciona, eu nunca comprei.
É só na carteira de Phantom, qualquer uma da carteira Solana, tu consegue comprar Dog, né? Por causa dessa bridge da Mining Labs. Então eu acho que essa bridge, quando colocar na rede da Base, né, em outras redes, vai ser massa também, tá ligado? Porque aí vai ter acesso a outras, mais liquidez, mais usuários, né, cara? Mais, enfim, mais tudo no caso, né? E, velho, top demais. Vincent, what do you think about the C2 blockchain, the Treasury company, Treasury Dog company? What do you think about that?
C2 blockchain.
Yes.
They're pretty mysterious, aren't they? Like nobody knows who they are, like what to do. To me, I like to think of C2 blockchain as a holder rather than just a company, right? What is their intention? I think everybody's intentions is to make money, right? We're not just here to have long-term convictions and be a part of a community. People who don't know how to sell are most likely going to lose money. So I don't think the person or people behind C2 Blockchain's publicly traded company are here to just, hold on forever. So what they see and what I think they're saying is how to make money from Dog. But the thing is, they're not focused on just Dog. I pay attention to their tweets, and mainly their posts align with Dog's messaging, right? And I love the fact that they support Dog. To me, they're not the only ones that are going to start doing this. C2 Blockchain, I feel, is an entity that will sooner or later be an example of what other companies and other individuals are going to see, which is, oh, I get the messaging. I'm going to buy. But they're not just going to buy a little. They're going to buy a lot. And they have goals. I do believe that C2 Blockchain is going to reach their billion Dog token treasury. They've led by example, and they continue to accumulate. And I'm so happy that they're doing it. And they're just setting an example. But what they're trying to do is be ahead of the herd. They're trying to be ahead of the crowd. They're trying to beat everybody before they start buying Dog. Because when Dog starts pumping into new all-time highs, just like retail investors, eventually people are going to take profits when Dog is listed on Binance, Dog is listed on Coinbase, Dog is listed on major exchanges, or maybe other publicly traded companies, or maybe other celebrities start talking about Dog. I wouldn't be mad if C2 Blockchain started taking profits when we started reaching new all-time highs. And I hope that everybody does plan on doing that. I don't want people to sell 100% of their portfolio, not because I think that the Dog price is going to dump. I'm afraid that when they sell 100% of their Dog, when Dog pumps, is that they miss the next pump, right? That's why I tell people sell 25 here, 25 there, 15% there. Like take small profits out every single time. But right now, what Dog is doing, what I think everybody else should be doing, buy your favorite assets if you believe in it, especially when they're low. The 99% aren't buying right now. Be that 1% that doesn't buy with their emotions. Don't buy it because you emotionally want to feel good. Buy it because you did data. That way you remove your emotions and you say, oh, I did all the data because the upside of Dog will do very well. And what is that? The numbers tell me that the metrics on social media, more people are interested in this. And as we saw with Pepe, Dogecoin, Shiba Inu, SPX 6900, and Pengu, that community numbers actually help that token go up. And then you think about the numbers with Bitcoin market share. What is the likelihood of Dog reaching 0.5% of Bitcoin's market share? Well, that's over $10 billion right now in market cap for Dog. And then other numbers, which is what is the likelihood of Dog reaching above $1 billion in market cap? well, that would make it the top, right now, the top 10 meme coin across all sectors. These are all numbers. And that's why I remove my emotions and I focus on the numbers to allow me to determine if I'm going to hold dog on a long-term basis or when I'm going to take profits when the market starts pumping. And if you don't know how to do the numbers, you got to start learning, or else the thing is, what you learn with dog now, you can take with you to the next coin that you like. Because if you don't like dog forever, which I don't expect you to, then you'll like the next meme coin, which is meme token, or maybe another token on Solana or Ethereum or Bitcoin. What you learn with dog, you can take with you in real life. You can buy stocks, you can buy gold, you can buy a house, whatever is a great asset for you to have. You can take these trades with you, right? What's great about cryptocurrency is it's an acceleration program. You learn quickly, you learn really fast. Because we're very young in an emerging digital sector, not only do we learn fast, but we are growing with a new emerging economy, which is global. Baby boomers, unfortunately, the reason I don't like stocks is because it's so slow and the gains are so low. And the losses are so low too, right? But because we have an acceleration program in cryptocurrency, you can learn a lot about yourself as an investor, as an individual, and you can take that with you as well. So yeah, that's pretty much it. But yeah, guys, I really appreciate being on here. Thank you so much for having me up. I do have to go, but you guys are amazing. Thank you. And we'll continue talking more on X, and we'll continue making more videos. Shout out to you guys.
Man, thank you for sure here, and amazing work, amazing support, dog, and thank you very much. And guys, BitMax, Dog da
Thank you
Massa.
so much, Vincent. Be always welcome. And let's go. Let's fucking go. Work.
Let's go.
Great perspectives, Vincent, man. Always good to catch
Thank you.
up.
All right, guys. Thank you so much, man. Take care, guys.
Bye, bye, man. Good night. Ô, velho, porra, visão demais, hein? Tu quer falar o que ele falou aí? O cabelo tá por aí, o Dog da Massa? Vocês estão aí ainda ou não? O cabelo o cabelo já saiu há horas, eu acho. O cabelinho já saiu. O cabelo já saiu. O Dog da Massa tá aí ou não? Não tem ninguém mais aqui. Não tem ninguém mais aqui.
Gente.
Fala aí, ô Fredão, fala aí o que ele falou agora, por último ali, sobre a C2. Eu acho que é bem interessante pra galera ficar sabendo aí.
Cara, foi um pouquinho difícil para mim entender porque eu não conheço ainda a C2.
A C2 Blockchain. Cara, é uma empresa, né, listada em
Uma
bolsa.
Treasury company.
Eles estão fazendo uma Treasury Company de Bitcoin. Eu vou te mostrar aqui o de Bitcoin, não, né? De Dog. É a C2 Blockchain, né? Como é que é o Twitter deles? Aqui, ó, C2 Blockchain. Vou botar na tela aqui, ó. C2 Blockchain é a primeira empresa, né, a comprar Dog. E eles fizeram até um site, ó. O próximo, eles querem comprar 1 bi de Dog, né? Eles queriam comprar 500 milhões. E agora eles querem comprar 1 bi de Dog. Eles já têm aqui, ó, 524 milhões de Dog, né? E falta 475 milhões para eles atingir a métrica de 100 bi. E 100 bi não, né? 100 bi é o supply total. É 1 bi no caso. E aqui no site tem a ação deles, né? Que já subiu aqui, ó, 1.700 no último ano aqui, ó. Então, se tu botar desde quando eles estão fazendo aqui a Treasury Company de Dog, velho, subiu pra caralho aqui a ação, né? E nos últimos 3 meses, ó, 160%.
Quer dizer que eles compraram num momento legal. Começaram num momento legal.
Eles começaram a comprar num momento legal. E a empresa deles, cara, é listado em bolsa. Não é listado, tipo, no S&P, na Nasdaq, tá ligado? É meio difícil, assim, de comprar a ação deles, no caso. Só que, mano, é uma empresa pública, tá ligado?
Mas a empresa é nos Estados Unidos?
Nos Estados Unidos. Na Flórida. E eles têm, tipo, um projeto de planta de mineração, sacou? Projeto ainda. Não tem nada pronto, mas eles têm um projeto lá. E, cara, o que me impressionou foi que esses malucos meteram uma vela de 25% no spot da Kraken lá. Um dia que eles compraram, tipo, 80 milhões de Dog, eles falaram e realmente eles Eles compram na Kraken por questões regulatórias, então tem hora que eles pagam até mais caro, dependendo da arbitragem ali da galera. Enfim, eles meteram a vela de 25% num dia lá na Kraken, lá, que só rolou na Kraken e depois a arbitragem foi equilibrando, sacou?
Exato.
Assim, eu entendi o que o Vincent falou, que eles são meio misteriosos, assim, que ele acha que pode ser até um holder, que, tipo, tá empolgado com a parada e tal, mas que, cara, já abre o caminho, né? É uma ideia.
É uma ideia, né? Mas eles não têm só dog, né? No portfólio, eles têm outras moedas também. Enfim. Mas cara, achei massa demais.
Tem Cardano também.
Tem Cardano, né?
É.
Tem outras cripto. Vocês gostaram aí, rapaziada? Quem tá no chat aí, ó, gostaram? Mano, quase 800 pessoas passaram aí. A gente tá ao vivo no Twitter da Maxi, do BitMax, do Fred também, top demais. No meu, estamos ao vivo também no canal do Miguelão. Deixa aí, rapaziada, se vocês curtiram aí a live. Cara, eu acho sempre a ideia dele, né? Então, o pensamento dele sensacional. Eu acho meio difícil o inglês. Eu acho mais fácil o inglês do Leônidas do que deles, do que o do Vincent, tá ligado? Então, para entender, assim, é um pouco difícil, né? Tô me acostumando. Mas, cara, é top demais. Só tenho a agradecer ao Vincent aí que veio aí. E é isso aí, Bitmax. Fredão aí, tem alguma coisa para...
Porra, eu gosto do inglês do Fred, cara. O Fred falando inglês eu consigo entender a porra toda, velho.
Eu também.
Para, irmão. Para. Continue.
Ô, mano, como é que tu pegou esse inglês assim, mano? Tu morou fora há muito tempo, né?
Cara, é que eu sempre gostei de assistir o UFC, aí eu sempre comecei, como jovem, imitar o Bruce Buffer, tá ligado? And in the red corner, weighing in 160.
Caralho, que foda, sério? Isso foi o start, cara?
Sim.
Porra, caralho. Que foda, velho.
Aí eu quis... sempre com a mídia, né? Com certeza. Criança que gosta de, sei lá, comédia, desenho animado e tal. Lá onde eu cresci só tinha inglês.
Sim. Mas tu morou um tempo fora também, né?
Sim, morei na Europa. Eu fui criado na Europa, né?
Tu foi criado na Europa.
Agora voltei porque, pô, o Brasil é muito mais promissor, cara. Gente, vamos falar sério. A terrinha tem muito a oferecer. Eu gosto da mensagem do Vincent, que é basicamente o jogue onde a bola vai estar, não onde ela está, né?
Sim.
Que geralmente quando algo tá na linha de tempo no Twitter, etc., quando os influencers já estão falando sobre, já tá tarde demais.
Já foi, né?
Entendeu?
Sim.
E isso realmente, depois de 3, 4 anos em cripto, eu enxergo assim também.
E eu acho que, mano, o negócio é uma convicção também, né? Tipo assim, cara, tu tá comprando um negócio que para muitas pessoas é muito arriscado. Para nós já não é muito arriscado, porque a gente sabe do valor, sabe o quanto... A gente sabe que o preço pode cair, sim, muito, mas a gente sabe do valor que tem, né? A gente sabe de como as coisas foram feitas, que, porra, ninguém vai despejar na nossa cabeça, entende? Então a gente não tem uma grande baleia com 10, 20, 30% que vai dropar o bagulho, o negócio vai cair, tipo, 99%. Pode cair 99%? Pode cair, mas por questão do mercado, e não por questão que alguém tá te dando um hug ou um scan, né? Chame do que quiser. Então, isso para mim é top. Então, eu acho que a convicção do que a gente tá fazendo aqui, velho, tá ligado? Eu acho que muita gente já fez em outras paradas e eu acho que tem tudo para dar certo, tá ligado? Só a questão de ter paciência mesmo, saber o time também do mercado, né? Porque a gente não tá no time tão apropriado assim para isso. E é isso aí, ó. E o Rodrigo Moretti. O Rodrigo Moretti é o Rodrigo lá do Twitter? Ou não? Será que é? Eu acho que é, né? Live foda demais, o Vincent é visionário. Aí sim, ó. O Hype também falou aí, ó. Live top, aí sim, mano. Pô, que bom que vocês curtiram aí, rapaziada.
Cara,
deixa no chat dizer aí.
Eu também, eu gostei bastante da paralela que a gente falou, que o Vincent falou com o Solana e Bonk, né?
Pois é.
Porque, parando para pensar, há 3 anos, não tinha nenhuma moeda da Solana, nenhum token SPL no top 100. Só tinha
Sim.
Solana, né?
Só
Aí
tinha Solana.
de repente, foi do mesmo jeito um airdrop, né? Aí, de repente, a pessoa, o que é isso na minha wallet aqui? Aí foi, pau. E realmente...
Ele fez $1 milhão, né? Na Bonk, não foi? 7 dígitos, não é $1 milhão? Não.
Cara, eu acho que ele fez 60 mil, aí fez a rotação para Solana, quando Solana tava em $8. Aí fez
Aí
7
ele
dígitos com Solana, alguma coisa assim.
Olha o time do cara, né, mano? Tipo assim,
Ah, bom
o
demais.
cara comprou $60 mil quando a Solana tava $8, velho.
Bom demais.
Que isso, mano? Fez 7 dígitos aí, $1 milhão, mais de $1 milhão. E $1 milhão, não é $1 milhão. É $1 milhão, tá ligado? Mano, sensacional, tá ligado? Top demais. Fala aí, Bitmax.
Porra, eu tô fazendo umas paradas aqui, que amanhã eu tô pretendendo criar um MVRV dos UTXO da Dog, sacou?
Porra,
Que é MVRV?
Que é
brabo.
a idade dos UTXO. Eu tenho esse dado disponível.
Sim. E aí tu vai fazer um
Aí
MRV EV do TXO da Dog.
Exatamente, velho.
Caralho, o cara é brabo.
E aí eu
Ó,
já,
vamos
eu
mostrar
já tô
aqui a
pegando,
plataforma aí. Mostrar a
já tô
plataforma aqui
pegando
pra galera.
as melhores métricas que dá para pegar com o TXO, nós vamos ter na Dog, igual que tem no CoinGlass lá pro Bitcoin, a gente vai ter aí.
Massa.
Brabo
O
demais.
que tu atualizou foi o Markets aqui, né? Que tu fez.
Isso. A gente tem um markets aí agora com o preço da todas as corretoras assim que passam lá num filtrozinho que eu fiz, né? Porque tem umas que aparecem aí que tipo não dá para confiar, né?
Não tem volume.
É, não tem volume.
Entendi. Tem até um spread aqui, ó. Spreadzinho, né? Spread price.
É, você pode filtrar aí, deixa aí o da Bitflow no topo sempre, porque a Bitflow é nossa parceira, né?
Boa. Top. E aqui um price, né? Price. Dá pra ver qual lugar que tá mais barato, né? Deixa eu ver aqui onde é que tá mais barato agora. Nova DAX 008. Isso aqui eu acho que tá errado
Com
aqui, ó.
certeza, né?
É, tá errado, ó. 0016, Maxi 0016, 18. 17 agora, ó. Cara, muito foda, velho. Muito foda. Isso aqui, cara, eu digo assim, ó. Todo token, mano, toda comunidade vai querer ter um desse aqui. Entendeu? Um site desse aqui.
Porra, com certeza. Eu vou incrementar aí agora, botar gráfico pro Tokenomics. Agora eu vou trabalhar aí, né? Já
Sim,
temos
tem
um
muita coisa, né?
MVP.
E essa carteira aqui, tu não descobriu de quem é?
A 4, né?
É.
Cara, porra, eu queria a ajuda de todos vocês para fazer isso.
Sabe de quem é essa aqui?
Se eu tiver que programar e descobrir de quem é as carteiras, não vai sair nada.
Eu sei de quem é.
De quem que é?
Da Solana.
Pode crer, da Point?
Da Ponte.
Middle. Da Minor Labs.
Da Miner Labs.
Vou meter a logo deles aí também.
Dá pra meter a logo da Solana, né? Spa. Ou da Miner Labs. Da Solana, né?
Solana.
Solana, porque aqui tá a quantidade de token, ó, que tem na Solana. Entendeu?
Ó, top.
E essa sexta carteira aqui, eu posso estar enganado, mas BitGet, Gate.io, Maxi, Merlin Chain. Essa aqui é da outra corretora, aquela, mano. Que a gente vivia falando. Maxi, BitGet. Não. Gate.io, BitGet, Maxi. Qual é aquela outra corretora, velho?
Não lembro. Eu não fico ligado de quem que é as carteiras.
A gente falava direto neles, mano.
Tinha uma grande aí que era a L-Bank, né? Mas a L-Bank deslistou, eu nem fiquei olhando para ver qual é.
Deixa eu ver se eu lembro aqui do nome da corretora. Na CoinGecko deve ter aqui, ó. Dog. Vamos ver isso aqui se a gente acha. Se eu me lembro, né?
Pode olhar lá no Markets mesmo, pô. Lá no meu site do Markets tem todos que tem.
É verdade. Markets. Volume. Vou botar aqui, ó. Gate Pionex. Mano, eu acho que é a Pionex. Se eu não me engano, é a Pionex.
Ela tem um
Mas
volume grande, né, cara? O MKM
ela
tem
tem
falado.
volume grande, ó. Ó, 322 milhões de dog, ó. 323 mil dólares de volume nas últimas 24 horas. Eu acho, se eu não me engano, é da Pionex. Se eu não me engano, é BitGet, Maxi, Gate.io e Pionex. É isso aí. Porque não dá para descobrir, né?
A da Kraken, por exemplo, a gente não sabe se é uma, se são várias.
Pois é, a da Kraken não tem
Com
informação.
certeza ela tem. Vou perguntar pro Arjan.
Boa, pergunta para ele, pô. Será que a gente consegue trazer o Arjan aqui para trocar uma ideia também? Porra, aí vai ser foda, mano. Eu acho que sim.
Com certeza.
Eu acho que sim, né? CEO da Kraken, velho. É como se viesse o CZ aqui. Porra. CZ apontar na cara do CZ. Ô, mano, vai te fuder. Vai te fuder.
Me inclui nos seus crimes aí.
Me inclui no teu crime aí, cara. Porra. Mas é isso aí, rapaziada. Pô, foi top demais essa live. Espero que você tenha gostado demais no Sextou. Segue o homem aqui, ó. Tá? Segue o Fred aqui no Twitter. Enfim, tens outra rede social aí, Fred? Eu acho que não, né? Twitter só?
Cara,
Twitter.
por enquanto, Twitter.
Boa. Bitmax aí também. Dá um salve aí, rapaziada. Deixa um salve aí pra gente encerrar. E vamos embora. Sextou.
Pô, prazer imenso estar aqui com vocês. Mais uma sexta-feira. Cara, a galera que costuma falar que eu sou eterno bullish, né? Eu sou bullish para sempre. Porque na minha cabeça a gente está muito no começo. Eu olho para trás e eu vejo que, tipo, só quem tá dentro que viu a evolução toda que aconteceu ainda não atingiu o mainstream, sacou? Cripto não é mainstream ainda, cara. Nós estamos early pra caralho. Então, na vanguarda, vamos pra cima. Tamo junto. Fred, um abraço pra você, irmão. Tamo juntasso.
Abraço, irmão.
JP,
Tamo junto, Leandro.
Você,
Girino da Dog também.
Galera que tá no site aí, no chat. Porra, um prazer imenso. E vai lá no Dog Data, que só de vocês visitarem o site, porra, eu já pego as métricas e quando eu for negociar a publicidade, eu já tenho, tipo, mais acesso lá, já tem uma métrica melhor para negociar umas parcerias, igual a gente está pensando aí com a Xverse, já tem uma parceria com a Bitflow, e a gente vai...
O site tá aí, rapaziada. Ó, tá aí, ó, o site para
A gente vai precisar, porra, de manter, né, um servidor funcionando com Node, com a porra toda, então
é caro, né, mano?
Abrir para parcerias, com certeza.
Boa. É caro. Tamo junto, rapaziada. Obrigado, Fred. Obrigado, Bitmax. Valeu, Vincent, Dog da Massa também. A Maxi aí colocou a gente. Tamo junto. Se inscreve no canal, rapaziada. E fiquem com a melhor música aí de todo o setor de criptomoedas. Essa aqui é the best, man. The best music of the world on the cryptocurrency. Tamo junto.
Eu compro dog, 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 dog. Só compro dog porque é pura emoção. Cachorro dog, 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 dog. Com toda mura, tô de lemo do tubarão. Dog, eu estou na cleira. Sem baleia, sem pretensão. Nada é igual o Bitcoin, o Bitcoin. Pega a visão. Geral ainda nem sabe. Imagina quando se estourar. Tô enchendo as malas, tô comprando tudo. Antes que o Elon Musk irá postar. Dog, 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 dog. Go to the moon. Dog, 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 dog. Go to the moon. Comunidade irada, galera animada, é pura diversão. Todo mundo já sabe que a base é rara. A gente que espalha energia nesse mundão. Dog, 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 dog.